Hi, I'm Cindy Harrison, your admin of the Facebook group. This is a wonderful group. I'm so glad that you're here and a member, and I hope that you have been enjoying inspiration, because I think this is just the place to be for inspiration. So this project that I'm going to show you today is about Dollar Tree items. This is to inspire you to be able to create without having to spend a lot of money. So you can go to the Dollar Tree store or go online, dollartreestore.com, and I purchased the canvas, the frames, the stencils, the palette, the paper towels, the window cleaner, all of that from the Dollar Tree store. And then with my own brushes and bottles of paint, created these lovely things that I'm going to share with you today. I call them DT for Dollar Tree, Sunrise, Sunset. Hope you enjoy them. This is a canvas I actually bought from the dollar store. It comes 3 in a package, so you can have like a triptych going, 4 by 6 inches. And I want to create a sunset scene. So I'm going to start with some cad yellow. And I'll use my 3/4 inch brush. You don't really need a line drawing for this project. Next color I'm going to go with is Spice Pumpkin. And I'm going to load just half the brush with that. I'm going to start from my horizon line. So have the water part on the horizon line. And if you need to, double dip in the yellow. Walk it down towards your horizon line and back up. Then I'm going to add a little bit of carousel pink. So I have the orange, wash my brush out, get all the water out, have the orange on one side and the pink on the other. Start from the orange area, work your way up. If you need to walk it down, and then walk it back up again. But don't go as low as the yellow-orange mixture. Now I'm going to start from the horizon line with the orange and work it down. So right my horizon line is right below center. And I'm not doing long strokes, I'm going to do short strokes right down to the bottom. Next color I'm going to pick up is going to be Georgia Clay. When I put this color on, I start again at the top and just go not lower than halfway. Keeping this darkest on the outside edge. Next color I'm going to use is going to be Heritage Brick. But I am going to dry this first. Get on the corner of my brush. I'm going to figure out where my sun's actually going to be coming or setting, either sunset or sunrise, wherever your sun is. You want to start from that point and you want to go out to
to the edge. You can walk it down. So leave an area for your sun. I'm going to add a little bit more of the spiced pumpkin down here at the bottom. I'll skip a few lines of the Georgia clay. And then we'll put a few lines of the heritage brick. Then we'll take the dome round with some of the yellow and scratch in my moon and put little rays coming out. And I'm also going to take this color and do like a path of the shine. And because I decided my moon's going to be there, I'm going to now go back with my 3/4 inch wash brush and add a nice soft layer of spiced pumpkin around it. So kind of like a wash. And then if you want with the yellow, you can kind of just rock some of this yellow in to give it a little bit more pop. Pick up some more heritage brick, kind of make your water a little darker. So any one of these colors can go back in and create a little bit more depth and movement to your sunset. Take out some Snow White and go down to my down my number 12. Stick some white into that yellow. Just kind of hit some high shines. If they don't show up, it could be because your yellow is too wet. So take out the dryer and dry that first. And let's take out some white, take out some yellow. Let's tap that in. Barely touch it, and I'm sliding it back and forth. Add a little bit more weight. And then we can add a little side load of white around here. If it's too white, just add some yellow. And if you want to add a brighter sun rays coming out, that yellow-white mixture, I would pre-wet your sky area, wherever you're going to pull this out of, so that it kind of blends. So you can use your mop brush to help soften those out. If they don't soften out enough for you. I'm going to introduce a little bit of the lamp black in this color with my number 12 flat. I'm going to pick up some Heritage Brick and add just a touch of black to that. More Heritage Brick than black. And I'm going to add a little bit of that to the horizon line. And I can bring a little bit out of the sides if you want. Getting shorter as it goes away. So that's the longest at the horizon line, then it gets shorter, shorter, shorter. Set that aside to dry. You have a choice of either painting your palm trees on the canvas, or I bought this frame also from a dollar store, has a little glass inside of it. We can take some glass cleaner I bought at the dollar store and wipe. I'm leaving it in the frame so you don't cut yourself. If you take it out, be very careful you don't cut yourself. You can put tape around the edges. Okay. So now that that's clean, I bought this Do-It-Yourself Projects by Jot, their stencil wheel. There's about 6 different designs. This happens to be the one that has nautical designs on it. Seashells, palm trees, an anchor, a dolphin, a lighthouse, and a ship. So you can choose whichever one you want. It turns around. I want to choose the palm trees. So I can either paint those palm trees, stencil those palm trees right onto my design here, or I can paint them onto my glass surface. Totally up to you what you want to do. I'm going to I'll just take my glass out now. And I'm going to put my stencil down. I'm going to have it down here, off in the corner. So it's a little bit off, and I don't know if I'm going to put, if this is on, if you don't want a part of the design, like you don't want the bird, I would put a piece of tape over the bird. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it like it is right now. I'm going to take my stencil brush, pick up some of the black, Make sure it's not gloopy on my, and I'm going to tap that in. And yes, I'm doing this right on the glass. When you're sure you got it all, lift it off. And then I want to put one on this side. So I'm thinking I might just have the one. But which one? I think I'm going to turn it around. So I'm going to wash this stencil. So when I turn it around, it's not bleeding black over the okay. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to slide it under. Now I don't want this part of the tree. Maybe I do. I think what I'll do is I'll do this tree. And if I do that tree, then I don't want this tree, so I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to put it over the part that I don't want, so I don't accidentally hit it with the paintbrush. And now I'm going to paint that. Now where the, not that you can see it, a piece of paper under it. So where the land is, I'm just going to take my stencil brush and continue the land. You can do it with a flat brush if you want. Just try to make that land a little bit if you want to connect your tree, you can go back with your round brush and connect the tree trunk if you want. So it doesn't have to look so much like a stencil. You can bring this one over. And if you want those big birds on there, we can go ahead and you can place one of those on there. Let's do this one. So you can do it with the stencil brush, or you can put it in with your round. Blow dry that. Make sure that's very dry before you put the two together. So pick up your frame. Pick up your glass. I'm going to keep it with the painted side up. Take your canvas and turn that around. Make sure the ends are up. I'm going to take my back panel, place that in there, Press down gently and then close up the I like to take my palette knife and bend those over a little bit more. Turn it over and you have a beautiful sunset scene. So you can see where I could have gotten a little higher on the land, but isn't that gorgeous? The dollar store also sells the 5x7 canvases. On that one, let's do a little bit of natural buff. I'm starting with this closest to the horizon line. And then I'm going to pick up some Blue Harbor. I'm dirty brushing it on the corner of my brush and start up at the top. And bring a little bit of that down. Wash my brush out. I'm going to take some Payne's Gray. I'll pre-wet that area a little bit. Pick up some Payne's Gray and start where your horizon is. I'm going to bring this one up a little higher. Pick up some of the Blue Harbor, add that in there while it's wet. And as you get closer to the foreground with the Blue Harbor, pick up some of the white. Blow dry that. I'm going to deepen the Payne's Gray at the top. We're not getting the sun shining yet. So I'm just going to bring some of this down. And then you can always load the whole chisel and just kind of skip it through here. And pick up and mix it with some of the Blue Harbor. Always add some water if it gets too dark for you. And then you can also pick up some of the white. Just kind of some white caps here and there. If you're showing too much texture up here, you don't like it, go ahead and pick up some more. I'm going to pick up the Blue Harbor. Bring it down, make sure all the water is out of your brush. and depending on how far down you go and how much blue is on there will determine what time of day it is. And I'm also going to take a little bit of my Payne's Gray and tuck some up here. So that means it's earlier in the morning before the sun actually peeks out beyond the horizon. And therefore I'll bring a little bit more. If you want a little bit more of a orangey tone, you can add a little bit more. I'm going to leave it like that and dry it. So on the stencil I have let's see, I have a lighthouse. So I could actually put a lighthouse out here. I can bring it in a little bit. Center it. So let's go here. But I don't want the flowers. I don't want the, whatever those are, hibiscus. So I will try to cut those out. If you want a silhouette like we did with the palm trees, you can go ahead and do that, or we can just go ahead and paint this in with white. We have a white lighthouse. You can either do a white roof or you could do a black roof. Let's just go ahead and I'll start this with the white. If you want to add a little shadow on your dirty brush, you can pick up some of the black or even some of the Payne's Gray on your brush. Make a gray kind of value there and go down one side. That off. And it's very stencil effect. So what I'm going to do is take my round brush and close up the gaps. And if it's the gray mixture, just go in and pick up your gray mixture, close up the gaps. And you can actually just paint and if you want the railing, pick up some straight black. Just add a black line here in the middle where the gap is, and you can dots. If you want to put a light on in the middle, use your yellow. And then with a little bit of water in your brush, you can add rays of light emanating from your tower, because we don't want to see water and background through the lighthouse. So I'm gonna go across this whole thing. If you wanted to just make this whole thing black, so it'll be a black and white lighthouse. And we're going to put it on a landmass, so take out your 12 flat, pick up some of that black, and let's ground him. Make sure you bring it a little bit around him. He does have some thickness. Okay. If you want to do rocks and have a little bit of the sunrise hitting those rocks, you can kind of put a little bit of that there. And then for the rocks, make a gray. So there's a value between that highlight and pick up a little bit of the darker blue and shade the water around that. Any of your textures start showing up, just go back over it with a second coat. I'm breaking up some of that gray. A little bit of some shadow in there. Okay, then I'm going to blow dry that. If you want to deepen the shadow of your lighthouse, start with the Payne's Gray first, and then you can move over to your black, or you can go right to the black. I think the Payne's Gray is softer, a little bit warmer than going straight black. So over here I was thinking about using the sailboat from the stencil, but I think proportionate wise he is too big for that lighthouse. That would make that lighthouse too small. So I would do a third canvas, and on the third canvas I would not do this. I would do this set again, or you could do the sunset, either way, and put the boat on either the silhouette on the sunset, or maybe put a color here and white up here with a colored flag, but I wouldn't use it on this one. So I'm going to cut open my other frame that I got from the Dollar Tree store and see what it looks like in the frame. If you want little seagulls flying around, you can take your liner brush and you can put your little birds flying around. And that kind of brings a little bit more cohesiveness to that painting. Open this up. Take out your inside. This happens to have a mat with it, but I'm not going to use the mat because it would take out too much of my design. So I'm just going to make sure that my glass is clean. Oh, one thing I didn't do is highlight. If we're going to shade one side, we should highlight the other side. So let's take and do a white. So that gives it a nice little shine. Turn that over. So this one's a little tighter. There you go. Another project down. So the stencils are awesome. They have all different kinds of subject matter. I think there's, like I said, 6 of them. And when you're done using your stencil, you can wash it off with some hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol, or just gently wipe it off with a damp cloth.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And you can watch the replays on YouTube. And please, when you go to YouTube, don't hesitate to like the video, share the video with your friends. Also, subscribe. There's a little bell for notifications so that every time I post a new video to YouTube, you'll be notified that I'm doing so. And just enjoy it. Comment below and let me know how you enjoyed it, or just say hi, because all of those things will help me rise in the YouTube community, and I really do appreciate that. So until next time, remember to always paint with heart. Take care now.